Alrighty, I want you to see the distance. This is relevant positioning still, but I want you to see the distance because they are amplifying the sound of helicopter inside of my apartment. And this is the Los Angeles Police Department. Look at that flashing tail. That's a method of light activity while they are stalking in the path. They are also acting with the people of the rising. Again, the work on the roof is audible activity. All right, and they being the Los Angeles, engaging in what is very, very demonic. What you saw the United States Postal Service and Tiffany Sherez and the resident of 1800-5 driving in and out of the parking lot, the Los Angeles Police Department is engaging in what is pacing. They're flying back and forth. All right, group stalking is that which is done amongst a group, okay? And the Los Angeles Police Department is in the sky space engaging in this amplifying audible activity while they're stalking in the path, while the people of the state are in relevant position driving all around in the streets. They're driving all around in relevant position. This is demonic activity. The state is engaging in what is demonic, but it's criminal. The demonic shall be prosecuted as terrorism. All right, and they're in the same exact environment where the entity is aiming impossible light activity all inside of my apartment, light which creates multiple shadows, creating what is light that's magnified through the peephole. That's how you know what's wrong with the department. They're not only criminals, they're not only perverted and demented sex offenders, they're demon possessed, which, by the way, shall be grounds for removal from your position with a corrupt law enforcement agency. It will also require what are mental checks. With regard to the threat that they pose in the positions that they're at and the desperation, as I have literally tons of videos gathered on an ongoing basis that's crossing path, on an ongoing basis, clear engagement in what is consuming this area over here. And by the way, this area, it's very precise. They're not doing anything other than group stalking where the light source is present, where directed light is present, where the entity is engaging in that behavioral pattern of stalking with light, following with light. It is also that which is intended to threaten, while they are aware of what I'm documenting. So I'm currently uploading video right now. The Los Angeles Police Department is group stalking and monitoring in concert with the people of the state via helicopter, which is nothing other than a means of relevant positioning. They are staying in the path. That's what group stalking is. Staying in the path with a helicopter, which is the means of amplified audible activity and sensational activity as they cause a vibration in my apartment. All of this is the communication of a threat. It's an impermissible threat, while they are also monitoring and targeting one whom they know is documenting. By virtue of the crime of monitoring, the entity is aware of the fact that you're documenting it, and as I've also demonstrated, the simultaneity with which my documentation and the Los Angeles Police Department's engagement in the repetitive crossing a path with a helicopter is speaking to that. Again, what is also speaking to it, the fact that it's occurring within the phenomenon. It's occurring in directed light and where the light source is remaining for in excess of 12 hours. Recall my documentation this morning. It was actually before 8 o'clock. It was 7:45-ish in the morning, and I'm capturing video out my bedroom window, the same apartment, the same address at 3 p.m. That's actually 8 hours. Okay, that's over 7 to 8 hours. But you know that it remains even longer because the light source is then setting in alignment with the property. Okay, not going anywhere. That is speaking to the condition. That is speaking to monitoring. That is speaking to knowledge of the fact that they're being documented. It is also revealing their condition. The Los Angeles Police Department, you will reference the videos and the images which are revealing those hallmarks which always remain present. California Star Construction is a third-party corrupt business engaging in criminal monitoring and group stalking. Andrew Abramian, this is his name. I called him Andrew, the overweight male. He is a third-party group stalker and utilizing his business. This is a corrupt business. This is what the people of the state do. And these are the times that I've documented: 9:29 a.m., 10:27 a.m., 11:22 a.m., 11:41 a.m., 1:20 p.m., 1:29 p.m., 2:41 p.m. And again, what is at approximately 3:35 p.m. as I am in here writing down. And this is the pattern of conduct by the Los Angeles Police Department and the people of the state. They are highly hostile, demon-possessed entity. All right. It's threatening in and of itself to engage in stalking, and you're stalking in the specific environment. It's threatening enough to engage in stalking in the specific environment as an entity, a corrupt law enforcement agency. It's also an unpermissible threat to do so while you're documenting. What type of demented stalker continues to do it? You'll do it again. So you're going to keep hiding in the bushes outside of my apartment stalking me when you know that I'm filing a lawsuit in court, and you're going to keep on. Any other judge prosecuting against that stalker would require them to be submitted would, first of all, it brings their mental health into question, and reasonably so. And second of all, they are even more severely prosecuted. This is a government that's engaging in group stalking and monitoring. And while they are continuously doing so, while I document and expose them, this is directly relevant to the prosecution of the people of the state. Okay, I am documenting Ted Speaker. I am documenting the people that stayed at Alvarado Gardens in my close proximity, acting with that police department, who has 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 over we're about 9, 10 times engaging in what is crossing path by the Los Angeles Police Department in the specific environment, which is a pattern of conduct. They're acting in conformity to every other police department that I engaged in documenting and exposing, and they did it under the same phenomenon. The sun is never anywhere over the Ontario Police Department, contrary to what I captured multiple times in the day, okay? In its zenith over my head, directly over that department, where it's remaining for an excess of 10 hours, visibly, even aiming light into every angle of my apartment, which is to suggest that's the sun. Okay, because if that's the sun over the Ontario Police Department as it's documented, that couldn't possibly be the sun that's in alignment to my apartment and remaining over my apartment, adjacent to my apartment, aiming light all inside of my apartment at the same time. There's only one sun, all right? In addition to that, the separate analysis, again, the same analysis applies. Sunlight does not create multiple shadows, does not create that magnification. All right, does not create light patterns on your ceiling and on the walls, all right, and create lines in the middle of the ceiling. This is the pattern of conduct. Reference the documentation. The evidence is already establishing. The Los Angeles Police Department, the people of the state. Andrew Abramian, he's going to federal prison. If he's not an American-born citizen, you're just going to deport him. He will never come back. Okay, him and all of those employees that were present. I surmise many of them are not American-born citizens, and it looks like many of them, some of them were under the age of majority. Speaker Companies Incorporated and Ted Speaker, civil and criminal prosecution, and very severe prosecution as a third-party group stalker, criminally facilitating this terrorism that the entity is engaging in. The entity is acting directly by LAPD. The entity is acting vicariously through the people of the state. The very residents are here. They're group stalkers in a specific environment. It's currently 3:41 p.m. and this is P.O.C. Understand that was light activity that the LAPD was engaging in using the helicopter. That flashing light is light activity. Okay? They're stalking in the path with the method of light in the same way group stalkers stalk in the path with light. That's what you're looking at. This is the pattern of conduct in the specific environment. Federal prison. Okay, and they are demons that engage in what is a highly malicious system. But what you're looking at, you're surrounding them with the evidence of the phenomenon that they live at, that they're present at. There is no legal basis for where you will ever be present. Targeting another American citizen by virtue of your presence, it's serving the government system. And they're not doing it ignorantly. I'm showing you what their condition is. I'm showing you the malice that they act with. I'm showing the absence of any coincidence that they engage in that behavioral pattern. I'm showing what is the malice that they are necessarily acting with when they do so in that phenomenon that's never supposed to be revealed to the world. You're not coincidentally or ignorantly present. It's revealing the reality to you, the supernatural of the demonic. It's revealing to you what is a corrupt government and how a government is doing it. The government's not doing it by themselves. It's doing it through the very people. All right. This is P.O.C. So that's 1803 that they're not natural born citizens. They are out of this country. That light activity is a facilitation on the grounds of the property. They're acting with the LAPD, who I again capture in engaged in terrorism, and they do so under the malicious guise of being a resident at the facilitating venue. But you're at a facility, you live at a crime scene, and that is by virtue a default. Okay, it's almost like strict liability. I don't want to say almost. It's essentially going to be treated as strict liability prosecution as a third-party group stalker. Your condition will be known, and you will in that way catch a federal prosecution. All right, it is 3:43 p.m. This is P.O.C.